introduce you. Welcome to Over the Ledge Live, the podcast. Does somebody have it on? Because I'm echoing. The number one, and some say only, political satire show based solely on the Texas legislature. Over the Ledge gives you a behind-the-scenes look at the shenanigans of the Texas legislature by decoding political headlines and legislators' behavior into easy-to-understand mom jokes. We're just as funny, but not as famous yet. Let's meet our guest tonight. First up, Aaron Salinas, an actor, writer, director, and podcaster with passion for good times, fun vibes, and the Spurs glory days. You can catch him. You can catch him on his podcast, Shame Watch, or streaming video games on Twitch with the Con Save. Please welcome Aaron Salinas.
What's happening, everybody? Just rewatched the 2014 NBA Finals. Yeah, it was good times because that's not going to happen for a while for the Spurs. But glad to be here.
Oh, yeah. We're glad to have you. Our second comedian is Sam Baer, with a master's degree, professional career, and 3 side hustles, yet still not able to afford sand on the beach. She delivers her take on millennial dating, sex, and family. So let's see how much she knows about Texas politics. Welcome, Sam.
Hello. Thank you for having me. Oh, yeah. Thank you.
Coming from California, yeah?
Yeah, all the way from California. So all I know about like Texas and families is that it's, I lived in the South and there's a lot of like cousin marrying. I think that Texas at least marries second cousins, so.
Step up in class. I like
it.
You
put that in Texas, including the family, just like bigger. I tried to match the vibe. So.
Yeah, we call that the Texas-sized gene pool.
With Texas-sized jeans.
Hey.
Next, our very special guest for this episode, Joe Jaworski. He's a third-generation Texas trial attorney and former mayor of Galveston, now turned Texas Attorney General candidate. Please welcome Joe Jaworski.
Howdy, Joe. Good to see y'all.
Would you like to tell us anything about your resume that I don't have here in my notes?
Well, I think the greatest sort of hidden truth about Joe Jaworski is before he went to law school, he played drums in a recording and touring band by the name of Other Bright Colors out of North Carolina. And let me tell you, we retired before, CDs were even commercially available. We were truly a vinyl experience, but in a masterpiece of resuscitation that would make Walt Disney blush. Our band is now available on iTunes and Spotify. So I'm very proud about that. Now, we'll hopefully get to the Attorney General part, but first things first, rock never dies. Okay.
Shameless plug at the top of the episode. I like it.
That's how you know you're a creative at heart. You're still pushing for the dream,
Yeah.
Like,
AG would be nice, but rock and roll is where it's at. And Sam, do you have any experience discussing things like the vinyl experience?
No, which I think makes me perfectly acceptable for any type of podcast out of Texas. Like I've got a lot of opinions and nothing to back them up with, but
Girl, you're basically a Texan right there. That's all. Just need an affinity for brisket and call it home.
I'm Jewish. I make a killer brisket. So like, come for me.
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
Mm-hmm. There is no the queso. Like that's my dividing line. That's not like a thing.
It's not a thing in California?
No.
I just recently learned stuff about queso that kind of like turned me off of it. Apparently when you're eating like dairy products, you like salivate more. So then like, it's possible that it's going to like get into the queso, and that kind of grossed me out. And I was like, oh, I don't know if I could use it as an appetizer ever again.
Okay, it looks like we're having a little technical difficulty with our Over the Ledge Empress and host, Stephanie Chiarello. So we are going to start with our first game tonight?
I think we got Lily popping in to help us out. Our lovely intern.
Yes, I'm gonna be filling in for Stephanie and taking over the entire podcast and the entire show and just Stephanie's life in general. So
This is your opportunity. You've been waiting for this moment.
That's right.
Like Lillian staged a coup, and she's like, I didn't even know this was happening. My hair is cut and my makeup's done, but I guess I'll step in.
She was like January
Lovely.
6th. Who? Just like walked right in.
Well, I'm going to go ahead and explain our podcast a little bit. Our two guest comedians, Aaron Salinas and Sam Baer, are competing against each other for the coveted Most Knowledgeable Comedian in Austin award. This award is given to the comedian who knows the most about Texas politics, according to the outcome of the games on our show. And Stephanie will show the award. It is really worth waiting for when we get her on. And whoever wins it will get a picture with our special guest, Joe Jaworski. And then Joe will post on social media the picture and the announcement that the winning comedian is Most Knowledgeable Comedian in Austin.
Yes,
Did we ask Joe if he's okay with this?
no,
I'm okay.
We did not.
I'll tell
ask.
Joe. It's okay.
He jams, man. It's all good. He's got good vibes.
Okay, the first game we're playing is Budget or Fudge It. This game is 2 truths and 1 lie style. You know how it works. It's an icebreaker you have played during every orientation ever. So Lily will read 3 choices, 2 of which are true and 1 of which is false. And you will try to sleuth out the lie. Last night was budget night at the Texas legislature. So these questions are all about what gets funded and what gets not funded. Okay. As always, comedians can ask Joe, our special guest, for help a total of 3 times a piece between the 2 games they play. So you get 3 times to ask between the 2 games. Keep that in mind. And Joe, please feel free to jump in at any time, but please don't give us a pop quiz on anything we might not know. All right, let's play Budget or Fudge It and see how our Texas legislators like to spend money. Is it Prada or is it racism?
What?
All right.
And I'm gonna hand it back
Hey,
to
Stephanie's
Stephanie.
here.
My
Hey.
crew failed. Darn.
We got our
No, you got this, leader. Did somebody tell my jokes? The monologue?
nobody. No, we skipped the monologue. We're gonna wait for you for that.
Okay. My lord, am I any better? It's like Ken Paxton hired me to give Joe Jaworski's big moment.
We heard like 4 words.
One moment, please, while I. Does anyone have another suggestion? Since I obviously am having internet problems, can we make just my voice and not my video?
We can hear you now.
That's a little better.
Yeah.
Okay, so I turn off my camera. Can you hear me?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
I like the tour of Stephanie's room. It's like a Black Mirror situation. Like, where's she gonna end up? Like, what's happening? I like it.
Is she here?
Can y'all hear me?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
We can't. Okay. Now you're gone.
Oh,
Okay,
shit.
we've gone rogue. Let's just do whatever we want.
And I'm back.
Come back, Lily.
Hey. You want to go ahead and do the games, and then when Stephanie comes back, she can do her monologue.
Yes, that sounds great.
Okay. All right. Budget
All right,
or Fudge It?
Yeah, back to Budget or Fudge It. We're gonna start off. Aaron, you're gonna go first with question 1.
Oh no.
So again, these are all amendments that were proposed to the Texas legislature for budget night, and you're sleuthing out the fake amendment. So question 1 is all about Representative Slayton, who had a lot of ideas last night. And I wish all of them were lies, but there's only one. So good luck. Amendment 1 by Slayton proposes to drain all appropriations from the Commission on the Arts and instead give all $10 million to fund the border wall.
Oh, God.
Amendment 2 by Slayton proposes to allot funds for the reconstruction of UT's former Robert E. Lee, Confederate General, statue on Capitol grounds. And Amendment 3 by Slayton proposes that the governor may not use appropriated money to enforce an executive order that restricts the operation of businesses in a declared state of disaster or emergency, which is the lie.
So I just want to say I like that you threw in that Robert E. Lee is a Confederate general to remind me, because I went to tech public school, so they probably taught me that he was like a war hero or something.
Right.
But not a good guy. Not a good guy. But I think it was that last one, because I did theater in high school, and I know they're willing to drain the arts for any given reason.
Well, you would think, but no, it's not that one. It's actually the statute one. So Slayton did propose an amendment that prohibited the removal, relocation, and alteration of those memorials, but he's not crazy enough to reconstruct it. Just remember it fondly, in private. Just, yeah.
Like he probably does nightly. That's sweet. That's God.
I honestly think there's like a section on Pornhub just for like Texans like this. That's just like not just Texans, but like people who like are missing these statues, and it's just like footage
of the statues,
so that they can enjoy it in private. Like
different times of the year, like in the winter, in the spring. Like,
yes, instead of the like fireplace in the background, it's just, with the Christmas
footage of Robert E. Lee. Just
all right. Question 2. This is for you, Sam. Representative Gonzalez of Dallas had a lot of ideas too, just a lot less racist. Amendment 1 by Gonzalez proposes the prohibition of funds used for conversion therapy for minors in mental health care. So prohibits conversion therapy. Amendment 2 by Gonzalez proposes using funds for conducting a study on the threat of domestic terrorism to the individuals and infrastructure of this state. And Amendment 3 by Gonzalez proposes that the amount paid by the Office of the Attorney General for outside legal expenses cannot exceed $500 per hour. I know it's a lot.
Yeah, that was mouthy.
You can ask Joe for help if you need a lifeline or whatever.
You know what? Yeah, fine. I'll jump in and like chop off my arm off right away. I don't want to look stupid. So then if I get this wrong, it's Joe's fault.
That's right.
Right. So I believe that number 3 is true. And so I think you should strike that one off. And so it's between 1 and 2. And as between 1 and 2, number 1 sounds like something he'd say. So I'm going with 2.
Okay. Yeah, 1 sounds like a very Texas thing. Do you know what I mean? Like, pass the potatoes. How's your son's conversion therapy? Like, they're straight now, but they're not. Like, buy wife energy. Yeah, I'll go with number 2, whatever one that is. That sounds right.
No, sorry.
No?
No, it's the first one. We actually we don't want conversion therapy. That would be the point.
I'm confused on how that one was asked.
Well, I think I might have gotten a double negative out of that, but
yeah, you're right. It was a little wordy.
But all right. We'll have to try again. Sorry about misleading you on that one, but at least we got number 3 as true.
Yeah. And now you get to blame Joe for this too.
Yeah, I'll take
I love blaming white men for my problems.
I got broad shoulders.
One of my favorite things to do.
I know. It's happening.
It's never stopped, but now it's really happening.
Well, as a former mayor of Galveston, you probably got blamed for a lot of problems.
Oh, yeah. I mean, the victory lap was sweet for 5 minutes.
Yeah, my goal isn't to be like a CEO. It's like second in line so that there's always one more person to blame.
Hey, I like that.
Yeah, a good friend of mine told me, oh, you were mayor. Well, people will always complain. Oh, come on, Eddie, tell me it's not true. He goes, yeah, you give them $20 and some of them will be upset that you didn't give them 2 10s. Come on, can we have a rim shot? Come on.
Oh, yeah, come on, Mariah.
All right, let me rehabilitate myself.
All right, and question 3, we are back to Aaron. I'll try to make this one a little less wordy. We are moving on to Representative Kane, a household favorite. Amendment 1 by Kane would prohibit appropriations for an entity that has publicly threatened any adverse action against the state based on any election integrity legislation.
Oh my God.
Again, super wordy, but essentially you can't critique any election integrity legislation. Amendment 2 by Kane prohibits the use of appropriations to provide elective surgeries for inmates. That could be trans inmates, cosmetic surgery, dental coverage, anything like that. And Amendment 3 by Kane proposes the use of appropriations for a study on food stores and food deserts. This might be the hardest game y'all have ever played. You're welcome.
Absolutely, because the only thing I could think of is I had a cousin who did time in prison. He did a nickel, and he got his tooth fixed. So I know they do allow surgeries in prison, but I'm not gonna lie, I didn't know a lot of those words.
I was gonna say this is a spelling bee kind of situation. Like I don't know the words in these questions.
Yeah.
For real, I was like, I attended my English class, but I didn't do well in it. Let's go with the first one. There was a lot of words in that one, and it said elections.
No, again, you would still be wrong. It's the third one. I'll write an easier game next time. I apologize.
It's
I'm not gonna lie,
0-0.
Lily. It kind of stings when you're laughing and telling me that you.
Yeah.
No, I'm laughing because I failed. I made these too hard. My bad.
Let's say round
No,
3 of the
Lillian,
mocking
you
game.
are-
Yes.
You were like, these are educated people. I mean, I wrote in my bio that I have a master's degree. At least Aaron was like, I'm not telling anybody how much education I have.
Hell no! Like, and on top of that, I think it's Lily's getting back at me because last time she did the game, I got all the answers right.
Yeah.
And she's like,
Exactly.
"Oh fuck, no, not again."
Right. Well, then Lily, what's your vendetta against me? I've done nothing.
Huh? What do you have to say for yourself, Lily?
She's like, next question.
She's like, I'm bringing you all down.
Lily's an intern.
And
Leave her
we're going to
alone.
move on. Question 4. This one, I think, is we're back to
Sam.
Aaron? No, Sam.
Let's give me a
It's
break.
Sam's turn to
Just keep
lose.
pushing
So
them
that's
all
why
on
we're back to her. All right. And next up to the plate is Representative Oliverson with a handful of what every legislature likes to call good ideas.
Mm.
Amendment 1 proposes using appropriations for a vote by mail public awareness campaign. Wholesome, right? Telling people about voting. Amendment 2 proposes that school districts are ineligible for appropriations if they fail to display the U.S. national motto, "In God We Trust." Little less wholesome. Amendment 3 proposes a prohibition on appropriations for persons that issue health benefit coverage for an abortion. So if you issue coverage for an abortion, then you can't get appropriations.
Oh, that sounds very Texas. I'm going to say the third one is totally that happened.
Should I? You're
No,
still
Lily,
wrong.
this is my process. I'm already wrong. Is that what you said?
Yeah.
Well, Lily, I
Yeah.
hadn't actually picked yet, so I'm going to throw a
I
mold
thought
out
you
there.
had picked.
I was processing. I have ADHD. My mind could change in a half a second. Like I was processing.
Yeah, you didn't
So
say.
I'm going to lock in answer 3.
Yeah.
Even though I originally said that wasn't it, I've had a change of heart. I feel like
Just shake
Even
it
with
up.
more processing time, you're still going with 3 now that you know that it's wrong.
wait, I don't want to go with it. Okay, maybe I just don't understand English anymore. I thought Lily. Okay.
I think amendments are intentionally wordy. You know, they make them very convoluted.
I'm just used to modern day texting where it's like 150 characters or less. Okay, I've now forgotten everything. I'm gonna go with the second one.
Well, second try, and it's still wrong.
She
By process
stings
of
you.
elimination,
Right.
it's the first one. Remember, the goal is voter suppression. That's the point of this. We don't actually want people to know they can vote by mail. So,
Oh, got it.
yeah.
Man,
Okay, it's 0-0.
good luck on LSAT, Sam, because that's what it's like.
Okay. And for the final round, this one should
God.
be easier.
You can do it.
Just one of us needs to get one right at this point.
Do we have any points so far?
No points. They're banding
We got a lot of
together.
charisma, but no.
Yeah. We have character and beauty. That's what we're bringing to this round.
Yeah,
That's-
Aaron and I got participation awards a lot growing up. You
Yeah.
know,
and are far better people for it. Let's be honest.
I think if it's a total shutout, then Lily gets the trophy.
That's the goal here. I take over Stephanie and I win all of the games. So joke's on y'all.
I knew you had a motive.
this makes a lot more sense.
Okay, final round. We will get through this and somebody will score a point. Aaron, which of the following amendments was not proposed? Business entities cannot receive grants if they publicly oppose any any legislation related to gender modification, election integrity, or electric vehicles.
Gosh, what a combo.
That's exactly
You
what I
cannot receive grants if you publicly oppose those things. Gender modification, election integrity, electric vehicles.
They're just like peas in a pod, those three topics.
Is that the one question?
That is the one question. This one is more simple. You know, I simplified for y'all.
So how do they answer? They pick one of those?
Yes. Which one can you not propose?
This is you, Aaron.
Aaron still is trying to understand the question.
You know,
honestly, I
sometimes
was
Stephanie
distracted
winks.
because you said we're gonna get through this and we're gonna score a point, and I was like, you know, if I was a little league coach, that would be my let's go get them, guys.
Come on, kids.
Okay, so gender modification.
Yes. There are 3 things that you cannot publicly oppose and receive grants. Those 3 things are gender modification, election integrity, and electric vehicles. Which one can you not critique publicly as a business and receive a grant? Just pick one. At this point, just pick one. It doesn't
Well,
matter.
I
okay.
can steal this question from Aaron. That's how confident I am.
I'm no, because I'm gonna fake it. I'm gonna say,
Women fake it all the time.
hey, I'm gonna say, I feel like election results, like if a because they're probably trying to do something where like they're gonna like suppress voters, and they'll be like, you can't do something about election results. We're a fine country and state. So I'm gonna fuck it. Election results.
Sam, do you want to tell him he's wrong, or do you want me to do it?
Bro, you're ruthless.
Yo,
I like that she's
Lily
leaning into
finally
it.
stepped in and was like, Sam can be on my team. So sorry, Aaron. You're wrong. Was it number 3?
Yes, it was number 3. Joe, he held up a number 3.
You could
Hey,
not
Lily, I didn't think
show.
you saw that. I didn't think you saw that. And I wasn't going to admit that I saw it. I was going to play it Texas hand style, you know? Like,
Don't y'all know there are 3 things that you can't talk about at the dinner table, and it's God, gays, and electric vehicles. So
That sign available at Buc-ee's. Dang it. Okay, that.
for what
Well-
it's worth, Aaron, I followed your logic train, and that's what I thought the answer was.
Yeah, you were pretty convincing.
and the final question,
Which I'm
the
gonna state.
last opportunity to score a point, is going out to Sam. And this one is related to studies. So funding for studies.
Okay.
So the category is let's study bad things.
Ooh.
Is there an amendment proposing studies for postpartum depression, effects of climate change on Texas coasts, or police brutality?
Jesus.
Yeah. I heard Joe with the first one, like,
Yeah. Shoot. I don't feel that they're looking into police brutality. That would be admitting that there was police brutality.
It's fair thought. And Texans, they're not thinking like that. Let's be honest.
I think Lily's giving you a
Lily's
clue. I just
nodding
don't
along. Yeah,
understand
that's
it.
my answer. That's it.
I thought you
I'll
said it
tell her
wasn't
she's
that
right.
one.
It wasn't that one. I don't know how to read Lily's expression.
I know. I thought she was like, yes, it is.
Right?
And you-
That's what I thought.
Oh, God.
I mean,
You
Lily's
want
either
to.
the best spy or the worst coach. Like, I can't tell how she's trying to make. And she hates Aaron, so that's
I'm an
all I-
unpaid intern. That's what I am.
Lily, if you're gonna get your aggro out, I'd rather it be here than on TikTok. You know, totally fine. So not the police brutality. Then postpartum, and what was the second one?
Postpartum depression or effects of climate change on Texas coasts.
Ah,
Which
man.
one does Texas care about least?
Least, yeah, totally. God, postpartum depression. That would mean admitting that like women were people, and that's not big in Texas.
It's not on the agenda for politicians in Texas.
Yeah, but like climate change. I don't think they care about any of them. What if it's a mulligan and none of them?
They might care about like
You're on to
Yo,
something.
step
economic
in.
development.
I'm swinging it to Joe.
Jesus.
He didn't even pay attention.
I did. No, I was just kind of like closing my eyes and holding on. And so I'd like you to restate the question again.
Yeah, we're down to two options. Was there an amendment proposing appropriations for a study on either postpartum depression or effects of climate change on Texas coasts?
Well,
Better known as which one does Texas care about least?
Least.
effects of climate change.
Okay. So I'm gonna go
Correct.
with
Finally.
Just kidding. Yeah.
We've got 1 point on the board.
One more than Aaron.
All right. All right.
Y'all are real
1-0.
mean when Stephanie doesn't have internet working. They're mean to me, Stephanie.
Can y'all hear me now? I'm so sorry.
Yeah, totally.
For sake.
You're
Greg,
really
it's a
tired
bit-
of me. You should take over.
No, I'm sure you did wonderful. I'm thinking about like that movie with Mark Wahlberg where the singer and then he becomes the singer and Jennifer Aniston's in it. Like,
Oh, that's a good rock star.
okay, maybe this was
Yes.
your
I
moment,
bet Joe
Lily.
likes that.
I want you to know that I was like ready to throw something and then I just kept telling myself, be cool. Be cool.
A star is born.
That's right.
Look at that.
Okay.
We're golden. You're coming in clear.
Okay,
Yeah,
so
you're coming in great.
what the fuck just happened?
I
The
blew
budget
Aaron
game?
out of the water. Just
Okay. Budget or
I-
budget?
Allowed Sam to win because she had a very hectic time before getting here.
Yeah, that is the white man history of how the events went.
Okay, I wonder what that's like to have a rough time.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, you said you got rear-ended?
Yeah.
I'm so sorry.
It is your fault, so I appreciate that.
Yeah, I hired the guy. I just didn't think he'd get to you so soon.
Yeah, I mean, it was just a little bump and scrape, and and they have insurance, or at least all the numbers looked right, so we wrote it down. And
Oh, bless your heart. All right, what do y'all want to do? Do we go back in time to the monologue? I'd sure like that.
Yeah,
let's
let's
do
do
that.
the monologue and then
Yeah, I'm just going to
same
tell y'all
thing.
some jokes and it'll help me warm up. Thank you so much, Joe, for being here and staying late. And one day when you're AG, I'm going to be like, wow, I got an hour and a half of his time.
You got it. It's fun. I'm having a ball.
be sure to download his latest hit single, available on iTunes and Spotify and Apple Play.
Mhm.
Wonderful. And it was
they're
called
right.
NPR, I understand.
Yeah, that's
correct.
the top one.
That's the title. All right. Well, yesterday was budget night in the Texas legislature. It's kind of like a Super Bowl, a long day full of corporate sponsorships and last minute plays, and only fun if you started off with a Bloody Mary. Mariah promised me jokes in the background, but that's okay. Y'all can laugh. Humorous laughter.
Did
All
you
right.
hear it? Did you hear it?
No.
We did.
Okay, awesome. Thank you. All right. Texas House members filed nearly 240 tweaks to the state's $246 billion spending plan. Despite picking up bipartisan support, the House struck down an amendment that could have expanded Medicaid in Texas. Because COVID is a hoax that Fauci created in a lab in China, it only killed like 50,000 of the weakest Texans, and they're gone now. So, like, who needs healthcare coverage anyway, right?
I was really just like, please don't laugh track. Please don't laugh track.
Yeah, right.
Good job, Mariah. All right, this one's for you, Joe. Lawmakers also capped how much Attorney General Ken Paxton can spend on his batshit crazy lawsuits at spending no more than $500 per hour for outside legal counsel. This is great news leading into the summer when Paxton plans to sue Buffalo Wild Wings for being too spicy and the sun for giving him sunburn.
You do.
There we go. The Texas legislature is remarkably focused on making sure that boys and girls play on different sports teams. Look, in some way, this is a big improvement. I remember when they didn't want women playing sports at all because it would take away from their time in the kitchen. Oh, this is just like my stand-up days. All right, a bill that would crack down, this is true, on using hypnosis in criminal investigations sailed through the Texas Senate. There was considerable resistance from the chamber until Lieutenant Governor Dan Patrick brought out a gold pocket watch that he swung side to side while he said the words, "You are getting very sleepy." All right. One bill would make it harder to share information about Texas government employees publicly without their consent. I don't know about you, but the only reason I'm voting for Matthew McConaughey for governor is to get his home address. Okay. Despite raucous support in the House, not enough state senators support carrying handguns without a license. Lieutenant Governor Dan Patrick lamented, "What do I have to do to get this passed? Hold a gun to your head?"
No.
You're killing it. House Bill 1927 passed through the House last week and brings the state one step closer to not requiring Texans to obtain a license in order to carry a handgun. Another I've got a small penis bill going to the House floor this upcoming week proposes that all handguns be placed on the dollar menu at Wendy's. Okay, experts warn that Texas's power grid is at risk of another crisis this summer. I'm starting to think that Texas is participating in the Hunger Games and nobody told us. Our state is just in a simulation where a bunch of random shit is thrown at us to see who survives. First COVID, then hypothermia.
You won.
Hey, what did I win? Okay, let's just face it. The odds were never in our favor. And finally, 420 came and went without any movement on bills to legalize marijuana. "We will not give up," said Senator Menendez, but like in a really chill way without like raising his voice or anything.
Didn't want to kill the vibe. I like it.
All right. Thank y'all. Whew. Okay, I'm in the groove. I feel better. Thanks.
All
Yay.
right.
Okay.
Stephanie, I love the way you keep telling jokes even when nobody laughs. You do use hero. That's on the script. All right. We had a fabulous first game, a real nail biter, and Sam pulled out 1 point against 0. So now we're going to play. Let's see. Hold on. All right. This game is called, oh, wait, that's my job? Texas attorneys general love suing the federal government. We were the first state to sue the Biden administration, and we sued the Obama administration over 44 times. But what else is the attorney general supposed to be doing? In this game, oh, wait, that's my job? We'll be learning a little bit about what exactly the Texas Attorney General does while in office. In a series of true or false and multiple choice questions, the comedian who answers the most questions correctly will be entered in the 2022 Attorney General race and will be Mr. Jaworski's fierce competitor. Joe, let's see who you're up against.
All right.
Can I bow out? I don't.
No, this is first it's going to be forced voting, and now it's forced running for candidacy, Aaron.
Okay.
All right. You already said you want to run?
Yeah, for a school board, there's a big difference between school board and attorney general. I just want to bring more funding to theater. That's it.
Oh my gosh, we have a bill up I need to talk about next week, Aaron. You should come testify on.
I'll do it.
Okay, tell me who's winning, Amy.
Sam is winning.
Sam, congratulations, Sam.
Sam, the Californian.
She's so funny. Sam is awesome. Okay, here we go. True, false. We're going to start with Aaron since you're behind.
You know, y'all are like just real ruthless today. Yeah, I just
No, because it's like golf.
Who?
Knives out.
Leuza.
Yeah, knives out. Oh, I know. You gave me the wrong medicine. Let me kill myself by slitting my throat, like in the worst way to kill yourself possible. Okay, number 1. The Attorney General serves and protects the rights of all citizens of Texas and can offer legal advice and or represent private individuals. Aaron, is this true or false? And don't forget to use the future Attorney General.
Hey, Joe. Big fan. Can you help me out with this one? Because I don't know what the hell you're supposed to do when you take that title.
Okay, so that would be false.
Oh, you're not supposed to care about the citizens.
Well, you can't offer them private advice.
I honestly was thinking that because I bet you Ken's door would be lined up for weeks. So big fan of that. Appreciate you, Joe. So false.
Correct.
1 point to Aaron.
Up a big old point there.
That's right. Unless, thank you, Mariah. I love it. Unless you want to give somebody insider trading information, then, right, Joe? Don't
Well,
answer. Don't
Yeah.
You
answer.
just have to just go back to, was that wrong? Because I got to tell you, if anyone had ever told me that that was illegal,
No.
I simply would not have done it.
Yeah, or fired them or something. All right. Sam, what are the term limits for the Texas Attorney General? This is multiple choice. A, 2 terms. B, 3 terms. C, 4 terms. Or D, unlimited.
Oh, definitely. Yeah. Clearly, unlimited is not accurate. What terms should they be? Don't what?
I was gonna say, don't forget, you can use Joe 3 times.
Well, he's a split even for me. So I've
Not so much faith in your government right now.
Damn, it's harsh.
it's California cynicism. It's just like it's in our water. They poison the water supply. I feel like I'm like so torn between 2 and we're gonna go 2. We're at 2.
Okay, wonderful. Joe, do you want to tell her the true answer?
God damn it! I meant 4.
Unlimited.
You're kidding.
Unlimited power.
That's legal.
Yeah.
They can just.
You can just
Joe,
like
no
live.
wonder you're running for it. That's a great job.
I know,
You'll
right?
never
No,
get
I'm going to die in office.
yeah.
It feels like a real Vladimir Putin role, right? Like,
Yeah, like I honestly want to be like, is that legal?
Attorney General down. Attorney General down.
I want, please, in a real campaign speech, be like, I plan to die in office.
Yeah, right.
Right, like, I'll be here till I die of natural causes.
I humbly ask for your vote, in which I will tell you.
Yeah.
Joan Rivers on her comedy set list would tell her producer that she gets paid if she's on stage for at least 30 minutes of any set, whether it's an hour and a half on anything. When she was getting older, she's like, yeah, there's a good chance I'll die on stage, but everyone on my team knows you let me sit out there until 30 minutes go by. I'm getting paid. She's like, just tell them it's part of the act. Tell them they're building suspense. And she goes at minute 31, go, nah, she might be dead. Let me go check on her.
All right, Aaron. The Attorney General can prosecute individuals who have broken the law. True or false?
Okay, so the key word there is just individuals, I feel, right?
Don't help him, Stephanie. Don't.
You know who can help me, who's 1-0 for me? Mr. Joe Jaws. What do you think, sir?
I'm
Will
going
you
to have to
prosecute
say,
me?
I do not believe the Attorney General has original prosecutorial authority under the Texas Constitution. He can only do it when asked by the district attorney, invited, as it were, like a vampire gets invited in. But so I think the answer is false.
There was like a little twinkle in Stephanie's eye. Like, say it. Stay. Go with Joe's answer. So I don't know. Yeah, we're going false.
I got set you up, Aaron.
Yes.
I hope so.
For the sake of a joke, you would. I have faith in my future Attorney General. So false.
Correct.
Hey.
Okay, this is technically false. The county or district attorney has original jurisdiction to pursue alleged violations of the law. The attorney general has no role or oversight of their discussions, but there are some exceptions. He said it. If they ask, you may step in and provide assistance, Joe. Well done. I think. Yeah, you did. Okay, Sam,
cool.
Go ahead. Aaron, what?
No, I was just gonna say, so like you can't sue me for like letting my aunts and uncles use my Netflix login. Like you're not gonna come looking for me. We're just gonna keep that family. I like it, Joe. Appreciate you looking out.
Come on, man.
Honestly, I'm under the impression that only like 1,000 people in the country even have a Netflix login anymore, and everyone's just like
just hand it around.
Yep,
I mean,
feels that way.
People have gotten divorced, stayed divorced for years, and they're still on the same Netflix account.
That's sick.
They're like, yeah, no,
Both
I
my
hate you.
ex-husbands and I share a Netflix account.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
Okay, Sam. To be the next attorney general, all you have to do is be 18 years old or older. Those are the only requirements.
That sounds so American. No. They have to be a lawyer. No one. You guys are the worst at hiding your. I mean, or you're great at hiding your faces. Just Joe said he's a lawyer, and that sound and attorney. The word attorney is there.
I feel like citizen would get thrown on the requirements too, though. They're just helping you out a little bit.
Yeah,
I mean, I do have the lead, so
that's true. That's true. And Texas does not sit kindly with people who are not citizens.
I want you to know that the answer is literally changing as we speak.
No!
My intern is changing the answer.
Then then both are right for me because it's ridiculous. It's a rigged system. No, there's more than just 18.
Okay, I'm going to give it to you. You do only have to be 18. Like there are practically no other requirements with the exception.
Yeah, the laws are changing.
They are changing only because you're a woman. You have to be a resident of Texas for 12 months. So you're 18 years of age and a resident of Texas. Wow. But you don't have to be a lawyer. I suspect you can have a criminal record. So by this logic, Aaron could be in office.
So literally,
like said, whoever wins is running against Joe here.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. That's right. So I'm running this office from my cell.
Yeah.
You know that there's a Texas legislator who did that.
Yeah.
I can't remember Ron Reynolds in the Texas House was in prison, won re-election, and when he bought his cigarettes, he just slipped them bill ideas.
When he went to his commissary, he was just like passing legislation up.
Pretty much. I'm sorry, Joe, did you want to say something?
Orange is the new black. So.
I was just going to say, I mean, L.C. Hastings, was impeached. He was a federal judge in Florida. He was impeached and he got removed from the bench and he came back and served in Congress the rest of his life.
Oh my goodness.
God.
I mean, in America, you can really be anything you want to be when you're a millionaire. Yeah.
Okay, Aaron, because of all this hard work, the Texas Attorney General makes a yearly salary of A, $3,750, B, $53,750, C, $153,750, D, $253,750. So 3,053, 153, 253 thousand of dollars.
100,000.
Yes, $253,000. Yes, divided by 2.
I want to say B.
$53,000, $750.
Only because I want to. I didn't lock it in, Stephanie.
Okay,
only because I wanted to gauge the room, so I'm going to go with C.
You go with what?
I'm going to go with C.
150.
You're right. How do you know that?
Because you freaking gave it to him with like, you want to go with B?
It's called gauging the room, Stephanie. That's what I did.
Wow. Okay.
And if he doesn't gauge the room, he'll conversion therapy the room.
Okay, well, I want to make sure you know that this is nothing compared to what Over the Ledge loses in a year. All right. I think, Sam, this is the final question for you.
3-2. 3-2, Sam. You got to get it.
Okay, so I don't have any children that I know of, but if I have a question about my child support case, I can call the Attorney General for help. But if I have a complaint about another state agency, I cannot call the Attorney General for help. True or false? So yes to child support, I'm fine. And then no to helping me with other agencies.
I thought you were going to say if you have a complaint against your child. I was like, can you complain to the state for that?
Take them back.
Just drop them off at the fire station till they're 7.
You know, I'm swinging it over to Joe.
Can you ask the question again?
Yes, sir. If I have a question about my child support case, I can call you for help. But if I have a complaint about another state agency, it's not what you can help me with.
Mulligans left and right.
Texas state agency.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
If it's about Obama, I definitely will turn to you.
Can I ask a question? Didn't this happen this past year? In 2020? They had a problem with Pennsylvania's?
Oh.
Oh, you mean the Attorney General?
I think you're right. I think that's correct.
Her face says it all.
No, it's not correct then.
How about this face?
So
Oh my
false.
God, are you okay?
I'm going to go against Joe.
What are you going to say, Sam? Is it true?
False.
True?
True. It's very true.
Yes, true, exactly. With lots of exclamation points. Okay. So apparently, okay, so side note, Aaron, I know you're beefing with the Railroad Commission right now, but Joe can't help you. Okay. Get it? Your oil and gas wells. I don't know. Okay. You got to work through the agency administrators, and
That's
some
right.
agencies have ombudsmen and stuff, but okay.
Okay.
Okay. How's it going, Amy? Because I got two
3 to
bonus
3.
questions.
3 to 3. Bring on
Oh,
the bonus
good.
question.
Bonus question round.
Oh, to think we could have avoided that if I had answered wrong.
I was trying to give you some love, Sam.
I
I was
know.
like, I wanted you to read my face.
I think our facial expressions are not as clear as we think they are.
I
Because
do
Joy
wish
was
I
tried
had.
out too, and she was like,
It depends on my mood. Okay. Okay, so this is a single elimination. So first, I'm going to ask Aaron. If you get it wrong, Sam can steal forever. And then we go to the next question. Okay. And these are, I'm not giving you any hints. They're fill in the blank. Who has been the longest serving Texas Attorney General in our state's history?
Oh, you're not going to give me an answer choice? I don't
No, there are no answer choices. You just have to be intelligent to get this answer
this is
correctly.
gonna
That
be-
was in the script, Aaron.
Aaron, just quick Google search. Like, ask Siri.
I have integrity. Not
Well,
really.
I'm-
I'm good. What? Colonel Mustard.
In the conservatory. Sam, that is incorrect. Do you have an idea of who might be our longest serving attorney general?
She's from California, man.
I'm from Texas. I had no idea.
does he have a library named after him?
No.
Oh.
I don't think this one can.
Colonel Sanders?
You guys are both so close, but it's a. Do you know Joe?
Greg Abbott.
Oh,
Oh,
really?
gross.
Yep. 2002 to 2015.
Well, he could have stayed forever. He could have died there.
Mm-hmm.
That's true. It's in the rights.
He
What
could
a
have.
quitter.
Woulda, coulda, shoulda. Okay, so now Sam, you get first rights of refusal. I mean, or to win or not to win. This showcase could be yours. One of Texas's U.S. senators, either John Cornyn or Ted Cruz, was Attorney General before being elected to the U.S. Senate. Was it Cornyn or was it Cruz?
Cruz. But Cornyn is what I meant.
It's
Cornyn.
Cornyn. Wrong. Okay, final bonus. How many divisions are there in the office of the Texas Attorney General? And I'm going to play Price is Right style. Give me two numbers and whoever's closest but under.
Like some divisions, like Hunger Games, like
Yeah. Yeah,
9.
how many okay, you said 9.
1.
Okay, Aaron is closest. There are 38 divisions in the office of the Attorney General.
Sam, we
She's
suck.
got their prices right.
It's a strategy. If someone picks it.
It's right.
Oh man.
All right, Aaron. What happened, Amy?
Aaron won
Aaron won.
on the bonus.
Congratulations.
Oh, man.
You won.
Oh wait, now we can see.
I just feel like both Aaron and I don't feel good about ourselves right now.
I don't.
Yeah, it's like,
Okay.
this is over.
I feel like I've been in a Taco Bell bathroom for like a solid 45 minutes.
Okay, here, let's let Mariah take this photo. Look really excited, Aaron and Joe. I assume she got it. Okay, we're good.
All right, is that good?
All right, now that you know all there is to know about attorneys general, let's meet our very special guest, Joe Jaworski. Joe is running for Texas Attorney General following the legacy of his grandfather, who took on President Nixon and his administration in our nation's highest court. The JAWS plan is built on the family value that no one is above the law. Welcome, Joe.
Hey, how are you? Thank you.
Thank you for being here and sticking through my technical difficulties.
Of course, Stephanie. It's worth it.
So I bet you love being compared to your grandfather, and like
Grandfather.
not being grandfather, and like nobody asking you about you first.
Yeah,
I must feel really good.
But what about what I've done? Oh, son, it's all right. We just want to talk about your grandfather. No, but I encourage it. He's a great Texan and a great American, and he was just a really good lawyer and a good family man too. I was very close with him.
Oh, you were? You had a chance to meet him?
Absolutely. In fact, I lived with him my freshman year of college. Even better story, when he was Watergate special prosecutor. The fact is, he was taking on the strongest, most dangerous man in the world, Richard Nixon. And right in the eve of his Supreme Court argument, after he had heard the smoking gun tape where Nixon is suborning perjury in the Oval Office, what does my grandfather do? He invites his grandson right here for spring break to live with him at the Jefferson Hotel that week in March 1974. I was 12 years old. And
Wow.
What I remember is that I got to walk with him to his office. And I remember that his briefcase was handcuffed to his wrist.
Wow.
Whoa.
That's how I remember it.
Do you think that if Watergate happened today, the president would have been found guilty?
So we have a chance to actually look back just recently. I mean, Trump was impeached twice, and it became absolutely a partisan political issue. What we remember out of Watergate is that Republicans and Democrats worked together. They had their conscience shocked by the power grab that Nixon committed, and even Barry Goldwater, just the icon of the far right, the John Birch Society, was the one who had to tap Nixon on the shoulder and say, "Mr. President, the votes aren't there to help you." No one did that for Trump. Mm-hmm. So I asked that question, Stephanie, a year ago, what would Leon Jaworski say about our current state of affairs? And those remarks are on my website, Jaworski for Texas, Leon Jaworski Award remarks. I answered that question. I answered what I thought my grandfather would say about this sorry state of affairs.
And I think this might sum it up.
Yeah. I mean, he'd come back and go, "What in God's name is going on here?"
Freedom.
Yeah, right. And freedom in America. But what I want to tell you, Stephanie, is
Guns.
that there are people, and I'm not alone. There are people that know it doesn't have to be this way. Bless you. And see, I'm telling you, the Texas pollen, even making all the way to California.
Well, it's transmissible through.
It is through the wires. Yeah. But there's a lot of voters, both Republican and Democratic, who are very troubled by what they've seen, and restoring ethics and integrity to the Texas Attorney General's office is why I am running.
Well, that's wonderful. Let's start out talking about me. Ken Paxton blocked us on Twitter, and I want to know what it would take for you to block us, because we have a goal to be blocked by by glocked and blocked by two attorney generals in a row.
Yeah, you can't. I mean, you'd have to be pretty upsetting to me. You'd actually probably have to threaten, to take my drum set away or something. And I'd be like, "No, I'm blocking that." Now, actually, I don't think you can block. I think it's actually against the law. Now, that didn't stop Ken Paxton, right? But yeah.
Well, isn't this up right now in the court? Is whether it was his private account or his actual attorney general's account?
Right. I think, and he can play that game, but I mean, call it what you want. Let's look at what the content is on the feed. But I can't remember the name, Stephanie, of the public interest group that sued him, but it's one that actually knows what it's doing, and they have some good lawyers. You just file it under open records, which coincidentally is within the bailiwick of the Attorney General's office. Just like he doesn't want to release his texts and emails from when he was supporting an insurrection on January 6th in Washington, D.C. because attorney-client privileged. Well, we'll see about that. And there's a lawsuit about that too.
Well, you say about that you're running to provide integrity to the Attorney General's office, but I don't understand because Ken Paxton is already there.
Yeah, that's right. No, he's actually sullied the office pretty badly. But, you talked about some prior attorneys general, and I'd like to go back even further in time to 1972 when the great John Hill served as Attorney General for 8 years, and he later served as chief of the Texas Supreme Court. But there have been lawyers of integrity who have served, and they would never find themselves indicted or investigated by the FBI or the subject of a whistleblower lawsuit or swiping pens out of the security station.
I forgot about that.
Well, I mean, it's when does it stop? And Stephanie, the question you have to ask yourself is, hey man, go get a job in the private sector. I mean, aren't you so distracted by your serial behavior? And aren't you neglecting the people that you were sworn to serve? Yeah.
Well, let's talk about that because I, at the core, believe that power corrupts. And I made that up all by myself. Also, I made up the quote that absolute power corrupts absolutely. How would you've already been mayor. How do you think you'd walk that line between staying human and being powerful?
Well, I do have a conscience. We start with that. I have a wife and a family, and I sort of, am on record as, being someone who has served in a humble local office. And, I always tried to make it not about money or power, but about doing what's right. All of these are bromides. I mean, look, we've all been conditioned to just go, yeah, you too, huh? But the fact is, I'm going to be 60 next year. Woo! And yeah, right. I made it this far, and I'm not doing this as a career. Like I'm 40 and I'm full of piss and vinegar, and I've got to become elected. That was one of my favorite songs by Alice Cooper, Elected. Check it out. Okay, it's tongue in cheek and it makes fun of people who are ambitious and run for office. But I'm so upset by the state of civic affairs, whether it's because of Mr. Trump or his consigliere, Mr. Paxton, that I am willing to put my name up there and my family's reputation up there so that younger voters who will be running the show in short order are reminded that this behavior is not normal. This isn't normal. And so that's why I'm running. And so I don't intend to stay for very long. I think at most 2 terms. I think you sort of ought to run again as kind of a referendum on your term, but at most it would be 2. But if there's some great talent that I've developed, on my staff and they want to run or something, I might just be willing to let them say, okay, brother, take it, or sister.
Thank you. Yeah. Have we ever had a female attorney general?
Negative.
Openly female?
No. Yeah. No. Right. Yeah. But I mean, it's interesting you say that, Stephanie, because, one of the first things, people say when I'm on the campaign trail, well, what are the top 3 things you want to do? I can tell you the first thing that you should do is make your appointments to what I call the Council of Deputies. The organization chart is the Attorney General, and then there's, the first assistant, and then there's other deputies of the various divisions, and there's like 8 of them. Yeah, Mr. Paxton appointed all white men, and I'm sure they were all very talented, and they turned him in because their conscience was so routinely shocked by what they witnessed in his personal and professional behavior that they turned him into the FBI. Those that didn't resign in disgust were fired. Well, when he had a chance to appoint them, again, all white men, and that's fine. I'm sure they were all talented. But what Joe Jaworski would do after he takes the oath of office would be to seize the opportunity and appoint men and women, white and of color, who are above all very talented attorneys and professionals, so that the true face of Texas is reflected in the Leadership Council at the Attorney General's office.
So what? There you go. Roarous applause. And of course, just let me know where to send my resume. I'm not a lawyer, but I have some experience. And
well, you
I
could run for attorney general, actually.
I'm running for governor if
Right.
the Democrats don't put up a really good candidate.
I know, right? What are they waiting on?
I don't know. And I'm not going to listen to the Democratic Party. I'm just going to do it my way, which means
But if I could add, you brought up, Stephanie, a great point, which is Matthew McConaughey is rumored to be running. And we don't know what party, but here's the point. It doesn't matter what party, because if Matt McConaughey becomes governor, I think it's incumbent upon us to select which character of his is the governor. Now, I have a clear favorite. I think True Detective season 1 dude needs to be the governor.
Fair.
All right. It just says he's, at each press conference, just cutting up a can with a knife, I mean, I think it could work. Anyway,
I think that's fair.
Back to you.
I love that you say that, because we were working on a monologue joke about which character would run as governor. So way to be there. I don't know. I want the Magic Mike guys.
Ooh.
Has Texas put up? Has the Texas Democrats put up? There's no rumors, right? I know one of the Castro brothers was kind of rumored.
All you hear is Beto and Castro brothers.
But shouldn't they do it by
Stephanie.
now?
I've been saying it for years. Maybe and no. I mean, there's a little more than 2 years, Aaron. I guess a little more, a year till the primary.
Right.
Year to the primary. Okay, well, let's go back. I want to ask if you're qualified to be attorney general. And by that, I mean, how much money have you made by providing insider information to your mistress? Not
Right.
that I'm saying you have one, but.
Who told you that?
Well, we have a mistresses group.
I'm just
and
kidding.
we meet on every Thursday and we
She
talk
did.
about our lovers.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, it's a fun time.
Yeah.
Totally agree. It's yeah.
We learn a lot. I'm sorry.
Yeah,
I'm not
no,
suggesting you have a mistress. I'm making fun of Ken Paxton and his mistress.
Exactly. No. It's so lurid. And I think this is what happens when you haven't had a job in the private sector for a long time. I don't know. I mean, honestly, I know it's all quaint to go back to 1776, because there were a lot of problems back then. But, the fact is, the idea that people would volunteer, lead for a while, and then back out, kind of resonates with me. This whole idea that, I have power and I will not let go. And, the ascension, I have to climb the ladder from, House member to senator to attorney general, and what next? I don't know. I mean, the musical chair thing doesn't work for me as much. There are a lot of talented people. Look, you don't have to be like a professional career politician to be able to serve well. You just have to, have a clean sheet, And so I've been a lawyer for 30 years. Yes, I have served in a local position. I was on Galveston City Council for 6 years and mayor 2 years. And, I have a heart of a musician, so I'm creative. I am a mediator, Stephanie. For the last 10 years of my 30-year legal career, I have been focused exclusively on solving problems where people come in just so far apart. This will never settle. I'm not settling today. And then you just, have to knock heads and sometimes be persuasive. And that kind of reminds me of a lot of our political conundrums. We'll just never, ever be able to resolve, the gun debate, right? Or voter suppression, right? Some of these people need a talking to, and listening. It starts with listening.
Starts with listening. I'm glad you said that about being a mediator. I was going to ask you, what are your rates? Because my sister and I, we've been fighting over this little stuffed unicorn that we had as a child that I said was mine and she said was hers, and my mom still has it, and it's really awkward. Help me.
Well, what I would say is there actually are community mediators in every location, and
I want you.
Yeah, I know. Just I'll send you my fee schedule.
Okay,
I'd probably do that one pro bono. I do that one pro bono.
Oh, you're so sweet. Thank you. Okay, and you also brought up voter suppression. So tell me, what's your favorite kind?
I know, right? Well, I think any sort of kind that has deadlines involved in it, like when you send like demand letters, with a deadline, kind of a nice totalitarian touch. But honestly, Ken Paxton's is where he talks about voter fraud, and the best suppression, because it'll affect the most, because it gets into people's psyche, is to actually indict someone for a mistake. Yeah, that's right. Someone who actually thought they were doing right, and they filed like a provisional ballot. No harm, no foul. It wasn't ever counted. But you know what? The fact that you even tried, we're sending you to jail. And such is the story.
As a felon, if you solicit a child for inappropriate, it's only a misdemeanor.
Right, exactly. And so that's my favorite, quote unquote, because what Mr. Paxton is really saying to all the young voters is, be careful you don't make a mistake, because we'll arrest you. And all kidding aside, Stephanie, it breaks my heart because, as a parent, I have had the right to witness my children's glee at age 16 when they want to get their driver's license, right? And, oh, come on, Daddy, let me get the license and take me to go practice driving. Where is that zeal? Where is that good-natured glee when they're 18 and it's time to vote? It's not there. And so it kind of breaks my heart. And it all starts when you're 18. You ought to be excited about voting. Why, Stephanie, isn't Ken Paxton pursuing this voter fraud? Did you know that there is a law requiring every high school principal, whether it's a public or private school, to offer registration twice a year to the senior class?
I did know that, and my boss filed a bill that told the Secretary of State to work with high school principals to accomplish that goal.
I like your boss. I like your boss.
He's really wonderful.
And what I would say is that the fact is the Attorney General is not pursuing that. He ought to be talking about voter access, not voter fraud.
Yes, sir. I agree.
I will say real quick, when I was 18, I was just really stoked that I could buy cigarettes legally. So now that it's pushed back to 21 for the smoking age, maybe voting is going to get its time to shine. Mm-hmm. These Gen Z people are built different. That's all I'm saying.
Well, I tell them you've got your own constitutional amendment, right? It says you can vote when you're 18.
Well, I do think the difference between driving at 16 and voting at 18 is that I could pick up guys at 16. So I think our next voter registration push and actually voting should be about be a voter, get laid.
Yeah, vote and hook up. Yeah. Right.
Yeah.
Hey, I've voted.
We already tried the vote or die, literally vote or death, cake or death, and that one didn't work too well.
Yeah, we got to work on that.
There ought to be an app,
like a Tinder for polls,
Tinder, but you have to vote for. You have to be registered to vote.
I like this so much. Somebody scribble that down. That
only
the hottest people are on registered to vote single.
I saw you vote.
Yes, so that's when the ad needs to come on at 1:30 a.m., 2 a.m.
No, but Sam, here in Texas, I bet a lot of the Californians that are moving here are shocked at the suppression they see because, you can drive through and get a Starbucks or a hamburger, but you can't drive through and vote. You can scribble your signature on the little electronic keypad at the grocery store to complete your transaction, but your signature doesn't match perfectly on your mail-in ballot. It's thrown out. My favorite is this. You can walk into an academy and be out with your new gun in less than 30 minutes. But if you want to vote, you got to register 30 days before the election. It's just wrong. Government needs to catch up.
Any sense? There are other countries where the day you're born, it is audit. It's part of. I don't know what happens when you're born. I only remember leaving, and I remember I don't. But I hear they give moms and dads parenting books and a packet of information. In other countries, when your kid is born, they're automatically registered to vote. It's not a choice. Do I have time? It's no, you're registered. Yeah. It's taken care of.
It's one of the principal obligations and privileges, of being an American citizen.
Yeah.
I don't understand. And another thing that the Attorney General is supposed to do, right, is operate the, victims of horrific crime fund. And I don't understand why Ken Paxton, he doesn't do any of the jobs he's supposed to.
Well, that's because, right. No, he's, have you counted how many times he's been on Maria Bartiromo? It's all about getting on Fox and being sort of the, icon of the far right. And it's probably because he has designs on serving in the next Trump administration. I'm not kidding. Tell me I'm wrong. This guy's counting on, Napoleon coming back. He's and he wants to probably be the Attorney General So, secondly, I think he also is concerned about his primary. Guys, let me tell you, the Republican primary in 2022 is going to be something to behold. Oh boy, with the GOP chairman Alan "We
West.
Are the Storm" West. I mean that is the QAnon mantra. Am I right?
Mm-hmm.
We're
We are
not
the
allowed
storm.
to talk about it.
I'm sorry. Yeah, well, that's right, because this is actually on 8chan. But no, we don't want to make Q angry.
He's
Anyway,
very mean on Star Trek. He really puts
I know,
the
let's
card
just-
through a
yeah.
lot of shit.
Well, I always tell people Q&A is better than QAnon, so I'll just leave it at that.
I will say Ken looks like a constipated Muppet. And I mean that like in more ways than one, but he generally just looks like somebody I would not trust. I don't, he's just, and his actions have just been atrocious. Like as long as I have been conscious of what's going on in Texas, which is not very long, but as long as he's been doing it, he's not a fan. Not a fan.
Oh my God. I mean, it's been over a generation. I mean, like well over a generation that a Democrat has served statewide. And I just got to ask, I mean, can you imagine the sea change that would happen if we had Democratic leadership, younger leadership, like people that have been out of the realm of power for so long? It would equalize so many things. Of course, that scares a lot of people, but we'll see.
You seem so likable and so qualified, and so obviously you're not a good candidate for attorney general.
And you're a lawyer, which you don't even need to be.
Exactly. Total surplus.
You're kind of overqualified.
Yeah, sorry, sir. I mean, you've got a history of public service. It's literally in your blood. So
What was he thinking?
what is your path? We've seen what Democrats have done for the last 20 years. What is your path? How is it different? How can we help? Right. And last question, I gotta know. You keep calling your campaign the Joe Jaws tour, so I want to know if you've faced any backlash from shark attack
I think
victims.
it's time to change that. It's time to change that. We're just going to go with Joe Jaworski for AG, but that was my nickname in college, Joe Jaws. I mean, I didn't solicit it, but people started saying that, and then I was like, please stop. But no, I mean, it's kind of like. So the Joe Jaws tour is the fact that we have been doing Zoom meetings, and I think this is like our 53rd since January, and now people want to start doing it in person. But Stephanie, what I'd say is that you're right. I mean, the path is opaque, but not in my eye. I will tell you that the best way for there to be a Democratic statewide office holder in 2022 is through the Attorney General's office. And Mr. Paxton is in an embattled position. I think a lot of Republicans will not be voting for him. And especially after the Republican primary, he's either going to be out or he will have exceeded like any reasonable positioning to win. It'll be Mr. Trump, look at me. And whoever can be to the farthest right will win that primary, which will be problematic in the general. But I will tell you that we're going to run the numbers up in the cities. We're going to pick the top 50 populated rural counties and let them meet Joe Jaworski and talk about actual rural issues like legalizing cannabis, a cash crop, like drawing down Medicaid and being a supporter of the Affordable Care Act so that their rural hospitals, the vital network of healthcare, will be sustained. And then finally, as a former mayor, I remember the bromide that local government is the best. You can have coffee with your mayor, your county judge. You can go see the superintendent, the school board, and be heard for 3 minutes. Try having coffee with Greg Abbott. Try having coffee with Ken Paxton. It'll never happen. And so when those guys put their thumb down, the troika of terror, Abbott, Paxton, and Patrick, when they put their thumb down on the innovations of local control like they always do, then I'm telling the cities, it's not just the liberal cities like Houston and Dallas. I say, Abilene, they're coming for you next. That's right. In the legislature, they're actually trying to undo the ability for cities and counties to lobby the Byzantine legislature because they want to stick it to Houston and Dallas. Well, they're cutting their nose off to spite their face because guess what? Everybody lives in a city and a county. It's like the Republican Party is hating on our most basic sense of identity, our hometown. And you know what? I'm going to tell that to rural Texas, and I bet I'm going to get some hits there.
Sounds good.
Yeah.
I would add broadband.
Yeah. Oh, excellent. That's a great point. Broadband. It'll be just like Johnson in the 1920s with rural electrification. It's the new thing. Telemedicine. A lot of the agricultural equipment in rural Texas actually works on a signal. Broadband learning, distance learning. I mean, it's time has come.
We actually have a bill this session about, it's like the right to repair is what I think it's called. And it's allowing farmers to repair their own equipment because apparently they're so computerized now that John Deere is like, sorry, you got to bring it in. When in the old days, a farmer would get out her tools.
How interesting.
Yeah. I'll try to find that bill number for you. Thank you for your time and your patience with me. Thank you, Lily, for stepping in. Sam, Aaron. Yeah.
I just want to say, Joe, real quick, I just signed up to be a volunteer on JaworskiForTexas.com. You got a little Vato who backs you, man.
Thanks, Aaron. Thanks, Aaron.
So
yeah.
I was just going to point out, love you. And I love, the sweet man who's running for lieutenant governor.
Oh, Mike Collier.
Yes, but you're both white older men, so please help us. I mean, obviously, me for governor or someone. We need some diversity there.
Hand me my cane. I'll go find someone.
Okay.
No, I'm kidding.
But I'll say this as a minority constituent on this, and happy to have that and bring that in. Thank you. While yes, let's point out. Joe, I mean, he has no control over being a white older man, but I think what happens is one of the things that can happen when people in that privileged position do get voted into a position of power, that it's not just make space, you know what I mean? It's hold the door open.
Yeah.
Because change is coming. And it's just a matter of what side of history do you want to be on? And do you want to be seen as somebody who's talked about it? Or who said, I'm keeping this the door is open. It's open, So
that's well said. No, I totally get you. And younger voters need to know that there is a place waiting for them to assume the mantle. And I will do that.
Thank you.
All right.
I'll run your California campaign, and all my California peeps move into Texas.
There you go.
It's happening every day.
Perfect.
It really is.
Okay, last question, Joe. Have you read Joseph Storm, the story about the Galveston storm? It was like
Isaac Storm. Yeah, sure.
Isaac Storm.
Yeah,
Man,
absolutely.
That was a good
Great book.
Great book.
Man.
So sad. So sad.
Wait,
all right. And on that note of Galveston being completely underwater and everyone dying, Amy, take us home.
Jesus.
All right. Well, thank you so much to Aaron and Sam and our Over the Ledge benevolent empress, Stephanie Chiarello. And thank you, Joe, for taking time to talk to us. Thank you to Mariah Gossett for recording us and making us sound good. And to our lead correspondent intern and stand-in today who worked on tonight's show, Lily Steinhauer. With the help of Stan Holloman, Benedict Parks, and Caitlin Moe.
I'd like to thank you, Amy Lowry, for guiding us through this episode. Thank you.
And that's our show. If you like what you heard, please subscribe to our podcast wherever you get your podcasts. Like us on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and now TikTok as @OverTheLedge with no D. Freedom isn't free. It costs $1.05. So please consider supporting Over the Ledge with a contribution so we can keep educating you about the Texas legislature. You may become a patron at patreon.com/overtheledge.
Joe, tell us your handles on social media and final comments here. Take us home.
Yeah, absolutely. I want you to go to my website, which is Jaworski4Texas.com. And that's FOR, none of those funny little numerals. Jaworski for Texas. And then in Facebook, it is Jaworski for TX. Jaworski for TX. Actually, that's Twitter, Jaworski for TX. Facebook is Jaworski for Texas. And then Instagram is again Jaworski for TX.
So when you become Attorney General, can I still call you Joe?
Yes. Oh, please, always. And actually, for those of you that are very close, just call me General Joe.
General Joe.
Well, I mean, why not, right? I mean, I'm
you got the title.
Okay, General Joe.
General Joe. You got it
Okay.
right here. It started here. All right. Thank you, everybody.
Thanks, everybody.
See ya.
Yay! Lots of